headed to?
We're headed to Pass Christian.
What's in Pass Christian?
The boat.
The boat. Yeah, we finally bought a boat. It's a diamond in the rough, we'll say. We've looked at several boats. We really didn't video anything whenever we were looking at boats. Took a few videos, but a lot of them were long trips. Just really didn't feel like filming a video. Anyway, we stumbled across a little 25-foot O'Day in Pass Christian on the harbor. Somebody really wanting to get out of town. Apparently they've lost their job. The boat's very rough, very, very, very rough. But
not that rough.
Well, it won't be rough when we get through with it. It'll be pretty.
There's no holes in it.
Yes, there is. It's just not below the water line.
It's a little hole.
Anyway.
It's not in the water line, it don't count.
If you've ever watched MacGyver or any of those shows like that, there's nothing that can't be fixed with duct tape and spray paint. So this guy's got it going on. It's not a bad hole. It feels like it's about the size of a silver dollar. We can fix that. It's way up high near the rub rail. I'm not real worried about it. The bilge pump, he said, was working. I should have tested it. I did after the fact. Flipped the switch, and yes, it did run, but apparently it was hooked up backwards because no water came out. I got it switched around and finally pumped the water out of the bilge. There wasn't a lot, but the bilge pump float switch doesn't work. We're going to pick one up and put it on. I don't really know what else to say. We'll show you when we get there. Anything to say? Alright, babe. Talk to y'all later. We bought that boat about a week ago. We went out to clean it up, do a little bit of work on it. We really didn't add any video there whenever we got there to work on it. Just got started working and then forgot about adding video. I've been back a few times since then working on it myself. Joe's been back with me a few times also. So it's an ongoing project. As I said, it's in Pass Christian. We live in Gaucher. It's about an hour drive depending on how you get there. I had to stop by West Marine, look at stuff, so it's been about a 2-hour drive for me to get there now because of that stop. But just to kind of update you a little bit on the progress, we pulled all of the upholstery out of the boat, all the cushions, the back cushions for the settees were actually attached to the side of the boat, to the inner hull. Plywood to a rib that runs laterally down the side. Basically just ripped that out because the plywood was in such bad shape that it just needed to go away anyway. So all the cushions are at the house in the carport. They'll be recovered eventually. Cleaned up the inside real well, scrubbed it down. There's still some stains that we couldn't get rid of. Past few days have been spent doing some repairs. I think we mentioned the hole in the hull in the first video. I've gotten it fixed. It was a little bigger than I thought. You could, it's probably about a 2-inch hole. It's like somebody fired a golf ball through the side of the boat. Wasn't a terrible repair. It's done. While I was down working on it, I realized that the upper the tow rail had came loose. So whenever I pulled it up to look at it, something had pushed it very hard and multiple times. One of the screw holes had been elongated about 2 inches. Some of the others less than that. I've gotten all those filled in with epoxy now, waiting to reinstall the tow rail. We knew that the rub rail was knocked loose in one spot. Got down and looked at it. There was actually a part of the deck where it lipped over the hull maybe 6 inches long had been broken. I was able to refiberglass that back together. And when I got done with that and was doing some cleaning, I saw some silicone on the hole where it turns down to the deck. It's about a 6-inch high space there. It had a long string of silicone on it, so that just let me know that there was more bad news hiding below. When I got all the silicone rubbed off, there was a crack about 24 inches long that penetrated the deck. I was able to grind through all that, beveled it out, and got it repaired. Now, all of those repairs are pretty well complete now. Fiberglass in, some putty put on top of the fiberglass to smooth it on out like it should be. I pulled the windows out yesterday. They appeared to have been leaking. One of the previous owners used some type of mastic tape to try to seal them back with. It has failed. It was a big mess trying to get it cleaned off the window frames so that I could put them back in. We're discussing maybe putting some opening windows in this boat. There's nothing that's a direct replacement for an O'Day 25 that I can find. So we're probably just going to get the longest, I'll be frank, inexpensive opening windows that we can, because we're trying to come in under a certain price point, at least I am. We bought this boat for $1,000. Just to backtrack a little bit here, the owner owed $666 in slip fees. We paid that up and turned around and gave him $334 roughly for the $1,000 purchase. I mean, I hated it for the guy, but you know, in retrospect, now that I've started working on the boat, I was lied to about a few things. It's fine, the price was okay. You know, I didn't expect a miracle out of this. So, you know, all in all, I think everybody got what they deserved. So we're going forward with what we've got. Anyway, there's a lot of little surface cracks in the deck. That's one of the things that I want to address today when I get to the boat. There's several unnecessary holes through the deck where screws have come through for various things. Heck, for all I know, they were that way from the factory, but they're going to get sealed up inside and out. That's part of the plan. Filling in the stress cracks with some epoxy. That's on tap for today. Before I do that, though, I would like to scrub the boat down for the areas that I haven't done. I've really only done inside the cabin and the cockpit. So I'm going to try to get the rest of the boat scrubbed down today. Let's see, what else is there that I need to try to tell you about? One of the things that we want to do is get to a inexpensive marina near the house. It won't be something for long term, but it will be an inexpensive place for us to keep the boat while we work on it until we haul it out. We're trying to get as much stuff done as possible before we haul the boat out and do a bottom job and paint the hull. I'm even hoping to get the deck painted sitting on the water. All this because the location, Patalos, there in Gaucher, has a single fee for hauling the boat out and putting it up on the hard for 2 weeks. I forget exactly what the fee is, but it's essentially the same thing for any haul out fees that I found anywhere else. For this price, he will haul the boat out, pressure wash the hull, set it up on the hard for me for 2 weeks, in which time I have to do whatever I want to that would be in areas that I couldn't reach with the boat in the water. So that's why I'm trying to get everything else done, so that while it's setting up on the hard, we can paint it, paint the hull, do a bottom coat job on it, and have it ready to go back in the water. At least that's the plan. So I'm about 15 minutes from the boat now, I guess. Looks like I'm coming up on Long Beach. So when I get there, I'll flip the camera back on, show you what the boat looks like now. There's really no difference to it. And kind of show you what I plan on doing. Talk to you then. Figure I'll show you some of the cracks. You can see a little chip there on the transom. There's a longer crack down on the top. There's something kind of got busted there. Another little chip with some cracks right here around this cleat. There's several cracks, and also where that stern rail goes down. Let's see, kind of doing this for myself too, so I can remember. Debating over taking all these snaps off versus trying to refit to a new canvas. I'll have to check on that, see if it's something that's really, which way is the best way to go with it. Some kind of instrument that is now gone. Another little spider crack. There you can kind of see where some repairs were made where the tow rail used to sit. Yeah, there's another spot cracking right there on top of this lid. You might not see it for the shadow, but there's some cracking there. It broke by the hinge at some point in its life. More handrails that need to be replaced. Some holes here in the deck that have been repaired. Probably gonna get a new repair. Another one there. Gonna have to rebed the rigging. This hatch cover, I really like this hatch. I wish it had a light in it of some kind, but it's huge and it dang near can't leak at all. Just got a lot of spider cracks in it. Got a little chip down in the corner here. I mean, the deck is solid. I don't know if that's bird poop or some repairs that have been made. We'll figure out when we clean it. Another little repair of some kind and a little chip. And whatever those holes were on the other side, there's some more of them right there. I just saw a crack in the companionway cover. So for a 40-year-old boat, it's not terrible. We'll step down inside. It's mainly being used to store stuff that we're using to work on the boat. So it's pretty rough in here. Anyway, not sure what this is. What this is, it's going to go away. I got a few holes through the cabin top here. I'm sure there was a radio or something mounted there. That may stay just for something, who knows. It's kind of neat. Let's see. The same stuff on this side that was over there. Not sure why I've got so many freaking holes up here in the top of the cabin. It just kind of confuses the hell out of me. I mean, I know that some of them are for the handrail, but like here and here, that's nothing. This, that's where somebody put a snap in, so maybe that's something that was added over time. I'm sure it was. Got these same screws down here. I guess there was some kind of blinds or something somebody had up once upon a time. Same thing over there. You can see here where the hole was, the center circle. The other part is just where it had been rubbed and it scraped through the red paint. You can see there's several scrapes through the red paint along the starboard side. More holes need to be fixed. You can tell where there's been some kind of water intrusion. I got to try to figure that out. My best guess for that is these 4 bolts here go up to where the mast sits. So there may be something there. It probably needs to be rebedded. It's not quite so bad on that side. This is the hatch. It's not super large from the inside, but man, does it have a flange around it. Open that up and let this thing air out a little bit. Up here in the V-berth, really don't see any cracks. Just where the bow pulpit comes through, that needs to be rebedded, it appears. All this fabric along the sides here really just needs to go away. We'll do something with that, probably some kind of woodwork. I've got this drain that actually comes from the bilge pump. The flange is busted on the outside, so I've got to try to find out exactly what size that is so I can replace it. Fortunately, it's something that's not too terribly expensive. Body, never used one. I got to do some research on that. Little sink here. Probably needs a new drain. It's kind of corroded pretty badly. All this was clean at one point until I came through and pulled these windows out, and that's the funk that they had holding the windows in with. You can kind of see down this side here. There's some plywood on the bottom. You can tell where it gotten wet over time through the holes through the deck and the hull. Pulled it off the top. It's down here. Originally, this boat had some kind of fabric on the sides. One of the previous owners pulled it off. I can't say I blame them. I'm not real fond of fabric on the walls of a boat. So we'll do something else with that also. Hoping to do some kind of little shelf there, put the backrest on that will give us some storage space along the side too, without impeding too much on the seating space or the sleeping space of the settee. The bilge is open. You can see the water that's in it. There's not much that's been in there since I pumped it out Friday. This is Sunday. Not sure where the water came in. I think we might have had a rain and the windows were leaking pretty bad. I hope that's fixed now. And obviously water came in through them. I couldn't really tell by looking at the floor. Anyway, that's kind of a view of the inside of this little boat. I'll wait till I talk to Joe. Well, you're going to know the name of it. This is going to be named Zephyr, which kind of means a gentle breeze. I felt like that was fitting for a small sailboat. So there we go. I got to get to work. It's late in the day. We're actually having washing machine trouble at the house, so that put me behind a couple of hours trying to figure that out. Different story, same day. Okay, just got through going around the boat in the kayak. Got it cleaned up. It's still not shiny. I really didn't expect it to be, but the barnacles are off about 6 inches below the water line. That looks a lot better. Now I got to get the deck cleaned up. Only fell in once, getting back on the boat one time. Lived through it. Must have on video in this. Clean the deck up and then we'll go again. Alright, it's finished up now. Didn't get to do any repairs on anything. Still too wet. Found one that was a lot bigger than I want to tackle up on the front under the bow pulpit. But like I said, it looks better. It's not shiny, don't expect that. But all the algae and growth is off of it, so that's what we're after. The white's more white. All good.